Are we back? I think we're back, yeah? All right, I think we're back. We'll give it a 15 seconds or so for everyone to get through their commercial. What kind of commercials are running these days? Anyone know? What kind of commercials are we seeing? All right, I think everyone's back. Okay, so these days, what we're seeing a lot more of is games that are already well known to be fun. Games that start off and they focus on fun first, like Minecraft, focusing on creativity, expressiveness, adventurousness, and also it happens to be easier to retrofit education onto it. Okay, add tools to empower teachers and instructors to kind of take their students to different places, to collaborate, to teach together, right? And the question is, which of these is going to be more successful? The bottom one, right? Take a fun game, start there, add education, tweak it, balance it, add tools for educators, and you can end up with some of the more effective modern educational games that we see today, okay? If you think back to a game like Roller Coaster Tycoon, it's easy to imagine that this was not initially meant as an educational game. But in reality, it really, really is. The developers focused, actually I think there was only one developer and then an artist. They focused on producing a really engaging experience first. And as part of that engagement, people learn a ton, okay? So anyway, let's keep going here. I have a comparison. I have a description for you. But actually, you know what? I'm going to skip this, okay? If you took the Oregon Trail game, you could describe it in two different ways. You could say Oregon Trail is a historical survival simulator set in the 1850s, where players must plan carefully, think critically, to survive a perilous, desperate journey across America's western frontier, right? This description is really cool. It engages you because you are stepping into the shoes of a really tumultuous and challenging time period that is full of interesting challenges that really had a lot of stakes. However, if Oregon Trail was instead not a simulator survival game, but a historical quiz show game, which there are a lot of educational games that go with the quiz show approach, you'd get a game where Oregon Trail is a historical quiz game where players answer questions about 1850s American migration to score points. It's easy to imagine this version of the game would start up. It would give you this little dictionary with a bunch of terms that you're supposed to memorize, some events you're supposed to memorize, and then boom, the quiz show starts and you try and answer questions based on what you just memorized, right? Doesn't sound super engaging. Is that the kind of game that someone's going to go take home and play when they're not even in school? Yeah, probably not. Okay? The Oregon Trail is one of the most successful educational games of all time. It was made by a friend of the course, Don Rowich. He talks to the course every once in a while, and he also helps out on occasion with the 499 research students. He needed to teach a unit on Manifest Destiny, which was the kind of mid-1800s era. A lot of Americans who had been on the East Coast were moving west due to America having gotten a lot of new land from some very sad and unfortunate wars, and also from the Louisiana Purchase. The government created the Homestead Act, which essentially said, if you go out west and you farm some land there, then we will give you that land. You will own it. And land in those times was very important for increasing your wealth and making a life for you and your family. So anyway, Don Rowich had to teach this to his students in Minnesota. He didn't have any textbooks, though, on the topic. What he did have was access to an early mainframe computer, like the kind of computer, I think, that we have in the front door of the BBB at Michigan. It was created in 2 weeks, which is amazing, and it was an immediate hit with students, right? As a student, would you rather read about the challenges and decisions of people in the 1800s, or would you rather step into the shoes and put your life on the line making those decisions? I think the answer is clear, and it certainly was for the students. If you want to learn more about this topic, games and education, I recommend Education 333, Professor Barry Fishman's awesome video games and learning course. But in the meantime, the takeaway here, before we play a little bit of Oregon Trail together, is that education is a big deal. And if you find yourself, if you want to go into the games industry, then there's a good chance you will be interacting with gamification and education at some point in your career. This is one of the ways that Arbor Interactive, my company, gets money. And then there's Pixo VR in Royal Oak. They use the Unreal Engine and VR to train first responders. So if you look at this footage in the background, it's a bit hard to see, a bit laggy. But they have a game in which you become a first responder at the site of a chemical spill on the freeway. And so you need to go and you need to clean up the chemical spill, and you need to grab the right tools, you need to use them in the right way, you need to follow your approach and technique in the right way, and you're on a time limit, right? Because there's fire, there's explosions going on, it's bad stuff. One of the big takeaways here is that you could never give this kind of training before VR. The best you could do is have your person read about it in a textbook or have them watch a video on it. But here, you can actually put them on the scene with the disaster unfolding in front of them. And you can test them and take metrics and see how well they do. You could never do this in real life because it's dangerous, right? You can't put someone out right next to a chemical spill just to train them. So anyway, yeah, really, really impactful stuff. That's a growing company. I think they hired one of my students. I can't remember. But anyway, let's go ahead and play a little bit of Oregon Trail. I want to show this game to you so you can get a feel for how it was and how awesome it was even that long ago. So here's the Oregon Trail, okay? We're going to start it up. DOS box, okay? Okay, created by the Minnesota Educational Computing Consortium. Okay, the Oregon Trail, here we are. So let's go ahead and travel the trail. Okay, I need your help, team. Hey, we're all on the wagon train together. This is a democracy, so I'm going to need your help. Are we going to be a banker from Boston? Are we going to be a carpenter from Ohio? Or are we going to be a farmer from Illinois? And here's the thing. In those days, your trip was a lot easier if you had money and resources. A banker is probably going to have an easier time getting to Oregon than a farmer who might not have nearly enough revenue and capital to make it. So what do you think, team? What are we going to be? What's the word? You want to be a banker? Okay, we'll be a banker. Okay, we're gonna do some names here. Okay, we need a fifth person though. We need a fifth person. Who should it be? Okay, yes, these are correct. Okay, so when are we going to begin our journey, team? We need to choose a month, March to July. We can ask for advice, actually, in this game. It says, you attend a public meeting held for folks with the California-Oregon fever. You're told, if you leave too early, there won't be any grass for your oxen to eat. If you leave too late, you may not get to Oregon before winter comes. You're going to be stuck in the mountains in winter. Does anyone know that happened to a group named the Donner Party? Has anyone heard of the Donner Party before? They didn't make it to Oregon before winter came, and so they got trapped in the mountains. Not good, okay? If you leave at just the right time, there will be green grass and the weather will still be cool. So when are we going to leave? Any ideas? What do you think, team? May, so right in the middle, huh? Okay, let's do it. Before leaving Independence, you should buy equipment and supplies. You have $1,600, which was a ton of money back in that time, in cash, but you don't have to spend it all now. You can buy whatever you need at Matt's General Store. Hello, I'm Matt. So you're going to Oregon. I can fix you up with what you need. You need some oxen to pull your wagon, some clothing. You need plenty of food, ammunition, and spare parts in case your wagon has a problem. Okay? So let's quickly go, and we're going to buy the recommended amount. I recommend at least 3 yoke. Okay? Food. So we have 200 pounds for each person is recommended. We've got 5 people. Yeah, what are we going to have, like 1,000? Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and get some ammunition. How many boxes? Let's grab just 5 boxes here. Spare parts. How many wagon wheels? Let's get 3 wagon wheels. Let's get 3 wagon axles and 3 tongues. Okay. Okay, so our total bill is 420 bucks. Nice. And we are going to go ahead and leave the store. You ready to get started? Good luck. So one of the cool things, oh, did I not get clothing? Uh-oh. One of the cool things about that image was you could see that it's not just one wagon headed out. It's like a bunch of them. They're in a train. A bunch of people head out together to try and protect each other and increase their chances overall. So we can change the pace at which we want to go. Since we don't have much time left, I'll play a little bit past 420. But we look at our map. We need to get from Independence, Missouri, in the middle of the country, right here, all the way to Oregon City, which is way over here. It looks like it might be kind of where Portland is right now. But you can see Seattle is right over here in Washington State, and then down here is San Francisco. So we're headed west. Okay, it looks like we're headed to Fort Kearny. Fort Kearny is going to be our first fort that we get to. We can change our pace so that we can move faster, but that's going to put more strain on our people, right? We might lose our health doing that. We're going to go on a grueling phase, and let's go ahead and get started. Okay, from Independence, it is 102 miles to the Kansas River crossing. You find an abandoned wagon with the following: 2 sets of clothing and 42 bullets, okay? Do we really not have any clothing? That's not going to be good. We have 2 sets of clothing because we found it. You are now at the Kansas River crossing. Would you like to look around? Okay. So we need to get across that river, and there are no bridges. So we need to figure out what we're going to do. We can talk to people. Let's go 8, talk to people. A ferry operator tells you, don't try to ford any river deeper than the wagon bed, about 2.5 feet. You'll swamp your wagon and lose your supplies. You can caulk the wagon bed and float it, or be smart and hire me to take your wagon on my ferry. Okay? All right, so what's the plan, team? We have to cross this river. The river's currently 600 feet across and 5 feet deep. So substantially taller than our wagon bed. Okay? So, what's the plan? I mean, that's like my chest height. Are we going to attempt to ford the river and just pile through it and see what happens? Are we going to caulk the river, the wagon, and float it across? Or are we going to take a ferry? What's the word, everyone? What's the word? Take a ferry? We can. It's going to cost some money. Ford the river. Always ford the river? Is that what we're gonna do? I think we should do a middle ground. We're gonna float our way across, okay? We're gonna caulk the wagon, which means kind of seal it up, and we're gonna try and float our wagon across, see what happens. Okay, so there we go. We're floating across. And we made it. We made it. Good. You had no trouble floating the wagon across. Okay, 82 miles to the Big Blue River crossing. And here it comes. So, oh no, thunderstorm, lose 1 day. We don't want to move during a thunderstorm, I guess. Okay, you are now at the Big Blue River crossing. Want to look around? Yeah. Cool. Okay, so anyway, we're at 420. I'm going to play for a little bit longer, but the takeaway here is this. Games have given us a way to not only describe what times were like, right, in the past, but we can actually put students and players into the shoes, even if in a very simple way, of people from history, okay? And you have to imagine that when the players are in those shoes, when they're making calculated decisions, when they're debating, when they're thinking about the decisions they have to make, they're going to remember those decisions much better than if they just read about them in a textbook, okay? When you die of dysentery in this game, and it says you have died of dysentery, you're probably never going to forget that moment, and you're going to know what dysentery is probably for the rest of your life, okay? These are the kind of things that teachers wish they could do, all right? I wish, we wish that we could give you some mathematical formula or some physics phenomena and have you remember it for the rest of your life instantly. No work on our part, right? We wish that we could assign you homework that you wanted to go home and play, like right now, right? Like Minecraft, I just want to keep playing, right? And video games are getting us closer and closer and closer to that holy grail, that utopia of teaching, okay? It helps us do so much. It's another modern tool in the educator's toolbox, and because education in general is so important, there's a very good chance that you will be doing some education through simulation and through video games in the future, okay? All right, thank you so much for joining us, everyone. I'm gonna spend the next like 3 or 4 minutes playing the Oregon Trail, and we'll continue to get your feedback. Otherwise, if you have any questions, let me know, okay, on the course or on this content. And we will see you next week. Good luck with your submission. Remember, if the feedback's a bit negative, we apologize. We just want to give it to you straight, okay? But hang your head up, keep your chin up, and you'll make it. All right, it's gonna be okay. You might have to put in some hours and get your team together, but you're gonna make it, okay? You must cross the river. This river is 261 feet across, so way shorter, but it's also way less wide, but far higher in distance. I mean, this is taller than me, this river. Okay, so what are we gonna do? What's the word? Are we gonna try and ford it? Ishwar really wanted to ford it. There's no ferry. Yes, saturated Umink. I'm sorry, but there's no ferry. What's the word? Let's see what happens if we try and ford it. What's the damage gonna be? Always ford the river. Wow, that went really poorly. Oh no, oh no! Oh no! Luke and Amber are dead. Oh, it's terrible. Oh, so sad. The river's too deep to ford. You lose 89 bullets, 3 wagon axles, so all of them. We lost 2 wagon tongues, almost all of them. 342 pounds of food is gone, 2 oxen, and we lost half of our grading staff, which is going to be a big problem for the next deliverable. Okay, well, we are still in it. Ishwar and I and Reggie B are still alive. So we're not out of it yet. Oh, I just got a snake bite. That's bad. Oh! The class is canceled. Rest in peace. No more 494. The instructor is gone. Oh well. Ishwar can carry on in Oregon. Let's look around Fort Kearney. Okay. So on the route west, there were a lot of various forts set up by the U.S. For military purposes, but also these forts became, I guess, places of commerce. So you wanted to head by these forts because these were places where you could get additional supplies, you could rest, you could. There were people who could fix your wagon, talk to people. Oh no, I don't want to buy anything. I probably should, but I don't want to. Let's talk to people. 8. Big Louie tells you the Platte River Valley forms a natural roadway from Fort Kearney to Fort Laramie. Travelers bound for California, Utah, and Oregon all take this road. Could be the easiest stretch of the whole trip. Should see antelope and plenty of buffalo. All right. So, good. So let's keep going, I guess. We're headed to Chimney Rock, which is a pretty famous landmark in the American West. We found 3 sets of clothing. Our health is still pretty fair, pretty good, even though we're really traveling very fast, and we've lost over half of our team. So the weather is rainy. Now the weather is cool. Okay, we're at Chimney Rock. Yes, let's look around. Okay, so that was Chimney Rock, and I'm just curious. Chimney Rock hasn't been destroyed or anything by natural causes, has it? Let's look at this over here. Chimney Rock. Yeah, let's look at some images. Yeah, okay. Chimney Rock. Oh, there it is. Yep, there it is. Gosh, why is it so green? I had no idea it was that green. Maybe we're looking at different chimney rocks. There it is. And where exactly is this again? This is... Oh, no, that's a village in California. Chimney Rock... Chimney Rock... Oregon Trail. Oh, awesome. Look at this. That's amazing. Imagine seeing that in the distance. Wow. That is a heck of a landmark. And where is it, I wonder? Chimney Rock, Oregon Trail map. Okay, so Chimney Rock is... Where is it? Okay, so it is right in... It's in Nebraska. Interesting. That's cool. Okay. Awesome. All right. Anyway, this is not a geography class or even really a history class, though we do kind of go over both at some points. All right. It looks like no one has a question, so I'm going to head and peace out. Good luck, everyone, on your next deliverable. Please have a safe, healthy, and productive weekend, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye. Take care.